Tracy Ferrant here. So I was just watching a video with a lady talking about, won't use a name, but a gentleman who is in the media convicted for crimes against girls, sex trafficking, and apparently the lawyer sold out, and based on the girls, their economic position and their economic state in life, and also not just economic of them, but their parents and the network and the support that's around them. They don't have the knowledge and experience that an experienced lawyer would have. So lawyers really take advantage of them. And then in the video, I saw the gentleman and woman saying they were treating the girls as prostitutes, and they recruited them from malls, paying them $300, and they preyed on these girls, knowing that they were in need. And anything can be weaponized against people. Your hunger can be weaponized against you. Your need for housing can be weaponized against you. Even food can be weaponized against you. So that's in and of itself. But what the word should be is exploitation and abuse. It's the mental and physical, because when they take advantage of these girls, it's not just a physical action, it's a mental abuse which affects them later on in life, which is a long term psychological kind of infection that they have. Um, so it is something, and it's something that it affects their self-esteem. It affects their social network. It affects how they see themselves. It affects their sense of power, and the sense of ownership of themselves. It affects their mental health, and can also trickle down to their physical health and their relationships with families, with friends, with a spouse, and so on, or other partners in life. So it affects them in a big way. So it is not just a physical thing. It carries a bigger sentence, which cannot be monetized because it's a mental injury to the person. People minimize it to sex, but it is a mental injury. And the reason why they take them so young is because they're targeting them. They're vulnerable. They're vulnerable, and they don't realize the impact until later on in life, or sometimes out of, because other people accept it as normal, and they are gaslighted, and they go through different syndromes, and it is tolerated by society, community, friends, organization. That does not make it okay. It is a mental injury, a physical and a mental injury to a child. A 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, it is a child. That's a girl child. And it is unfortunate that even animals are far more intelligent than us. You look at the lion in the wild, and you'll never see a lion sexually violating a cub. The lion has the instinct to know to wait until the lioness is mature. Likewise, even a rooster. You'll never see a rooster messing around, not just with the baby chick, but with the teenager chicks. You'll never see a rooster doing that. The rooster waits until the hen is mature. So it is unfortunate that even animals at their basic level has more intelligence and respect for other human beings and those with lesser power and who are within their care. Animals have greater intelligence and love and respect and towards those younger ones. And I'm not talking in the case of strictly speaking on in terms of sexual violation. So it is a mental injury that should not be minimized. And I think people don't know the massive extent of it, of which it affects the person and the person's mind. It affects people's promiscuity and therefore their health and also their relationships. Because some girls, they feel that their walls are so broken down and they don't even realize it. Whether it is a person of authority, a teacher, a coach, worse, a family member, especially if it's a father. And that's the most horrifying thing, because this child has been decimated mentally in terms of understanding relationships and the lines between abuse and love. And so there's no distinction in this child's life. And so even as an adult person, they accept abuse because they were trained to merge love with abuse. Because provision would have been coming from the same person who sexually violated them, and then you're standing up and posing in pictures, or even at school you're told to say, oh, this teacher is a great teacher, this coach is a great coach. But at the same time, this person is a sexual violator, and later on the person is forced to deal with this internally, and therefore stress comes out internally in the person later on in life. And so it is an undervalued and an unexplored and unresearched area that affects a lot of people It is beyond the pandemic level. As I said, they say 1 in 3 women. If there are 4 billion women on this planet, including girls and old females, I say 4 billion females on this planet, then you would imagine that about approximately 1.7 billion girls and, of course, women of the future are being affected. Leaders of the future, mothers of the future, um, are being affected, and so people are not treating it. But going back to the point of exploitation, it's the filthiness of society. We're an adult. I don't care. I think some people's there should be revoked, or there should be some suspension in terms of their legal license. Um, I think it should be suspended. When you have that kind of filthy mentality towards a younger mind, it says that this person is just low and is lacking the respect and the physical capacity, and only caring about the money and their dexterity in terms of the ability to win a case. But in terms of their protection of society and protection of the women of the future, leaders of the future, mothers of the future, educators of the future, they don't care. And so they are an enemy to society. These lawyers are an enemy to these young girls. And whoever defends them, they become a tolerant enemy of people in general. So it's not just about one girl, it's about the masses. And whoever supports that kind of thing has made themselves an enemy and have disclosed and showed their hand in terms of exactly who they are. It's about time that people come to consciousness and to hate evil, evil in whatever sense it is, whatever form it comes in. So to call these little 13-year-old girls, or 12 or 14 or 15 prostituted is really dishonest, and it's just low, and it's just wrong on so many levels. And even in organizations across this world, a boss who has power, there are policies in place so that the boss cannot abuse his power. So he cannot exploit a younger employee or a junior employee or somebody who's his subordinate, where he has greater power over this person, because he's weaponizing the power against them. He's weaponizing their desire for, for food and clothes and shelter, because that is what the salary comes down to. It is providing your life's needs, beyond the physical. So he's weaponizing that against them, and so the whole power dynamic changes. So even if adult women who are not being called prostitutes in those situations across organizations, how dare you bring that to a child? How dare you bring that kind of conversation to a child? Where if an adult woman or adult man is not called a prostitute, if their boss, superior, leader, um, pastor, whatever, priest abuses them, how dare you call the child a prostitute? It is disingenuous and dishonest. Um, and it really just a mental, a social, a legal abuse of children, across this world. And I find that some people, they have no sense of boundaries, and unfortunately money and their ability to be famous and to win a case, um, is greater. So they're not caring about cleaning up the system. The community is not caring about cleaning up the system. The family is not caring about cleaning up the system so that everybody can have a better fresh start and a better foundation going forward. Everybody just wanted to protect filth, because that's what it is. Um, and so these girls are being exploited. These girls are being mentally and physically abused, and they ought to be protected. So that those words should never have been used. What it is a violation, an abuse, an injury to their mental health. So it is not just, oh, here's $300. That alone is just minimizing the person's inherent right and dignity. And as I said, food can be weaponized against people. Housing can be weaponized. Whatever can be weaponized. Any person in any sense of power, physical power or power of authority, can weaponize that. And the truth is, the power belongs to society. Unfortunately, we don't manage that power very well. We concentrate it in the hands of people who are very corrupt. Not because you have an education and you have a degree and you have a law status and you have a title, whether title is parent, whether title is doctor, whether title is coach or teacher, means that your character is healthy for society. And it's about time that people measure those things and the character of people in terms of their health towards society. So that's in a nutshell. The girls are being exploited and mentally and physically abused and should be treated as such.